back. WNST, Tassel, Baltimore. Baltimore Positive. I am halfway through a 25th anniversary celebratory beverage. We're at Greenmount Station. We're in Hampstead, Carroll County, doing the Maryland Crab Cake Tour and the 25th anniversary. It's all brought to you by our friends at the Maryland Lottery. We have the instant lottery scratch-offs. These fellas don't even know it, but as long as they're of the tender age and legal age.
I'm 30.
I think you are. Yeah. I'm just looking at you guys. You got a mustache. I'll give you one. You get 57. You get 58. So you're Peter Boulware there. Maryland Lottery scratch-offs, the instant lottery. It's the 50th anniversary of the Maryland Lottery, which inspired my 25th anniversary celebration. Our friends at Window Nation, 866-90Nation. Make sure you check them out. It's a one-year anniversary of me getting those windows a year ago, and they're fantastic. It's been a great week to have the windows open. And I'm in Hampstead, and I'm next to Green Mountain Bowl, where you can do ducks or tens, but never candle pins, because that's such a New England thing, and we don't like them. We got the OTB next door, Bet Parks, and the Bet Parks MD app that the folks here have. We got crab cakes and all that stuff. But more than that, whenever I'm in Hampstead, there's this community thing. And I feel it in the same way when I'm in Catonsville. I'm a Dundalk guy. I did the show in Costas and Drug City. People who know people, what's that, the Barbra Streisand, the luckiest people in the world. But when I'm here, you know him, and he knows you, and Delmont comes in, and Delmont knows Chris, but he doesn't know Dave, but Dave knows everybody, and Dave's got the bowling alley, and yeah, I did all that. And then you guys sit down, and you're like, yeah, I know Chris. I worked here. So these guys are here to represent the North Carroll Panthers and their baseball club, doing a big hootenanny. What's the name of your event again? What's it?
The Fall Classic, right?
Yeah, the Fall Classic.
North Carroll Panthers. Well,
better be pretty good if it's classic.
Yeah,
well, it is
that's the goal.
Golf Fall Classic, we should say.
The Golf Fall Classic. It's coming up. It's going to be October 5th, Thursday.
So this is a golf event for a baseball group.
Correct. We're trying to raise money. We're partnering with the Manchester Volunteer Fire Department. So we're splitting out all the donations, all the funds that we make from the golf tournament. We're splitting with them. Half is coming to us for our baseball team. Umpires, jerseys, just equipment kind of things, and then the rest is going to the fire department.
Man, you guys got great names. I'm going to read your names right now because they wrote them down for me here because, I don't know these guys, but I'm getting to know these guys. Two great, Griffin Bass.
Yep.
That's you.
Yes.
And Shane Guevara.
That's me, yeah.
Do your parents have a sense of humor about Shea Guevara? I mean, that's like the greatest name ever.
Well, I used to, growing up, people were like, Guevara. I'm like, I don't know, look at me.
It almost sounds like you're like I'm waiting for Alan Funt. Like you're putting me on, right? Like It's such a great name. It's our 25th anniversary. I haven't told this story, so I want to tell you because you have a fun name. And my name's Nestor Aparicio. I used to say it like on an answering machine. I hated just saying my name, and now I have to say it.
Well, you got a lot of syllables. It's a fun one to say.
Yeah, I just go with Ness now. I mean, since I was like 35, most people just call me. My wife calls me Ness. Everybody calls me Ness. So I did a March Madness competition, and this isn't one of our stories of glory, but it's pretty funny because this is the beginning of the radio station. This is like 98, 99, 2000, turn of the century. You guys alive then? You're young.
I was not.
Yeah.
I was
not.
young
Guy here. Yeah. So we were sort of innovative in sports radios before the internet was really sort of grown up at all. It was like sort of you got mail dial-up at that point. They still had payphones for you young guys, right? So
what?
Well, I'm going to say we had fax machines, okay? And this is a part of the story. So the March Madness pool, now these days you have apps, you just go on, you bet, you do whatever you want to do, right? But back then we had a contest. It was $1 million contest. We bought the insurance, right? we bought the insurance for this thing, right? So the faxes all come in. And we had a guy named John who left us a few years ago. He's a beautiful guy. He was an intern for us. He was the official grader, and he would get all the fax. We'd lose 1,000 sheets of paper. I mean, we had a radio station. Like, people would make their picks, and they made the whole bracket back in the day of 64.
Gotcha, yeah.
So the brackets come in, and the first weekend, everybody gets wiped out, right? So, and nobody's really winning $1 million, okay? I mean, so I think our grand prize was it was probably worth $5,000 or something. It was a significant amount of money if you won.
Yeah, definitely worth
it.
But
it was
a lot
like
of money, yeah.
it was dinner gift cards at 40 different places. They were probably worth $3,000 to start with. There was a cash component. There was a man cave and a lawnmower. It was a big grand prize of stuff, right? It might have been a trip at the time. It may have been like a trip to the Caribbean or something.
Gotcha.
It was a nice prize.
I'll take that.
The grand prize, right? So all these people enter. Everybody gets wiped out, and we get down to like the next week, and I'm on the air doing afternoon drive every day, and they gave me the top 10 people who were winning the competition, like that, had Duke in the pool or whatever. And I looked down, and this kid's name, and I want you to say it out. I'll write it down for you, and then you can say it out loud, and then I'll have you.
This is all you, Shane.
I want so you're old enough. So say that name out loud.
Dickin counts.
Dickin counts. Dickin counts.
That's his name.
And I'm like, is that like, is he related to Dick Goes In Ya, or hey, would you, like, so I'm like, that's not a real name. And for 2 weeks, I said, whoever thought they were being a wise ass and put a fake name on the pool, you're winning. Ha ha! And you're getting nothing because you're not going to have ID.
No way. This guy's real.
So this goes on the first week. Then the second week, he's the clear, like, he's going to win.
Yeah,
I mean, he's got like 3 of the 4 teams in the Final Four. Whoever, Duke, Kentucky, whatever was favored, And the guy calls my partner, Hennessy, who's running the station time. He's like, I'm Dickin Counts.
Oh, man. No.
And I'm like.
No, you're not.
And I said to Steve, I'm like, get him up to the station. I want to meet him. So we're on live radio in the studio, and he won the grand prize.
That's awesome.
And I just kept saying, Dickin Counts, Dickin Counts,
Well,
Dickin
that
Counts
counts.
on the air, right? So he showed up, and he literally was from the Eastern Shore. He listened to the station. He's from Easton. He had a license. He showed me his license. His name was Dickin Counts. So when you say you're Shane Guevara, I'm like, that's a professional wrestling name. You're Cuban too, right?
Mexican.
Well, I've been to Cuba, so the whole Che Guevara thing's great. So you guys are up here. Tell me what you love about the community, because you're kids who grew up here, right?
Yeah, exactly.
I grew up in Hampstead, so everybody just comes together.
Mm-hmm. You have a whole North Carroll wall behind you.
Yeah,
right. Exactly.
Like
exactly.
everything in here is North Carroll.
Yes,
right?
I'm a Manchester guy, but
I was a North Carroll guy.
Yeah, so and look at that, we came together, even though we're kind of we grew up, I guess.
What are they like?
Towns.
So where I'm from, we did the show last week, and I get into this every time I'm in Dundalk. I did the show on the wrong side of Dundalk twice last week, on the Patapsco side, which you would never want to go onto that side. Certainly not Sparrows Point. But I'm from Dundalk, but we always had a Dundalk Patapsco thing.
Yeah.
Like, I dated a girl from Liberty up here many years ago, back in my single day in the 80s, before either of you were created. But she was a Liberty girl, and that was like a new school then. There was like Francis Scott Key, North Carroll, South Carroll.
And that was it.
I covered high school sports in the 80s.
Wow.
Carroll County was like just 4 schools.
Yeah.
And this is before all these Seneca Valleys came along and River Hills. They're all newer names for a guy that covered high school sports in the 80s. North Carroll's venerable, right? Like, I mean, forever, right?
Yeah.
And that's kind of, it was really disappointing for the town, when the high school was closed. But we all kind of stayed together around, with Manchester Valley, and the baseball team kind of just stuck around too. They kept the name North Carroll Panthers. They've been around since 2005.
2004.
2004.
Yeah,
our baseball
Sean
team's
Hemp,
been around.
he was the original
now
baseball coach.
Now the head coach at Manchester Valley varsity
created
baseball team.
That's a crazy story, right?
Yeah.
Well, I mean, a lot of schools don't end, right?
Right.
High schools don't usually end,
Yeah.
right? I mean, I know of a few, like Anne Arundel County had, Brooklyn Park, Arundel, and there's Seton Keogh. Both are gone now. Towson Catholic. I mean, a lot of smaller schools based around religion or based around just something that was too small to make it work, right? Like as a school. But we're talking about, a Carroll County school, that there's a history and a tradition that, man, if they ever closed Dundalk, I'd have to get on the phone with you, Johnny O. They just rebuilt our school, man. Our school, my high school, was 100 years old when I went there, and it was 100 years ago. And we rebuilt, and it's, like, beautiful.
That's great.
Yeah. I mean, you're Manchester Valley.
Yes. Manchester's pretty new now, and this is kind of a way to for anyone that misses North Carroll, kind of a way to kind of come out and support us at our golf tournament, and keep supporting North Carroll baseball, North Carroll just sports. We're just a group of guys from the community, from the Hampstead, Manchester area.
And what are you doing? Give me the whole deal. NCarrollPanthers.com.
Yeah, that's the best way.
That's for North or Nestor. NCarrollPanthers.com.
Exactly. Yes. Yeah, that's the best way to sign up. It's $130 a person. The deadline is September 21st.
When are we hitting this? October?
October 5th.
October
Thursday,
5th.
October 5th. So it's going to be beautiful weather. October. I mean, it's Piney Branch.
I don't know. You're playing
Yes.
Piney Branch.
Piney
Yeah.
Branch Golf Course up in Upper Kill, Baltimore County. One of the best courses. I mean, in the state, really.
Yeah,
So it's going to be a lot of fun. We've got a ton of raffles. We've got prizes. We're one of our big sponsors is the Ed Reed Foundation. So we're going to have some donated Ed Reed jerseys, signed Ed Reed jerseys, signed Lamar jersey.
Some memorabilia.
Yes,
like
other Ray
alumni
Lewis.
from the Ray
Yep.
Lewis and all that
Justin
good stuff.
Tucker signed memorabilia. We're gonna have Ravens tickets to give away. A bunch of
You guys are
great
golfers?
raffles.
Yeah.
Yeah. Well, I pretend to be.
Well, it's great because last week I had Tom Pierce on. Classic 5 Golf sponsors me. So that's I'll go through them all. I'll forget one. Clifton Park, Mount Pleasant, Forest Park, Carroll Park, and Pine Ridge. That's pretty good. That's off the top of my head. When I was young and sexy like you guys, I hit the golf ball a little bit. I was a baseball player. I'm from a baseball family. And I felt like golf, the ball didn't move. You know what I mean? Like, it makes it a little easier than like tennis or baseball would
Right.
be. But young people golfing, that's good to see.
Yes.
Yeah.
Yeah.
No,
I mean, this is tournaments open to everybody. So we do have some first place prizes.
He's going to NCarrollPanthers.com.
Yes,
to read up the
exactly.
information.
Yeah.
First place prize is gonna be a free foursome at Piney Branch.
All right.
Again, great golf club. Second place is free foursome at Bully Rock.
Bully
Golf-
Rock.
Bully
Bully
Rock.
Rock.
That's what I said.
Which is like the nicest public
Hartford
course.
County,
Yep,
yes.
Harvard
Buck
Grace.
Gal's house up
Yeah.
Free foursome at Oakmont, right down the street here in Hampstead. Longest drive.
The
is
other
gonna be-
Oakmont.
Yes.
Not that
Not
Oakmont.
that Oakmont, no. The other Oakmont.
A free tailor-made M4 driver for the longest drive. A putter, an Odyssey stroke putter for the.
I'm going
for the
to Ocean
putting
City next
contests.
week.
Oh yeah.
I need that putter.
Then you need it.
Yeah,
Yeah,
you're gonna need
Old
it.
Yes,
pro.
you're gonna need it.
Yeah.
Oh yeah.
Doing a showdown.
Closest to the pin, a free wedge, and again a PS5. We're giving away
Wedge
a PS5. No,
I would go for wedge salad though. Right now.
Well, should we give that away?
I
Should we
think
add
should.
that?
I think we should add that.
Blue
Okay.
cheese.
We can
Extra
find-
blue cheese on
And
that.
bacon crumbles.
Always. It's not a wedge if it doesn't have that. it's just salad.
We got a Yeti cooler to give away as well. I mean, so for
don't
the next
spoil-
year,
don't spoil everything.
Don't spoil everything.
Don't spoil
We want people
everything.
to come out, Shane.
Shane Guevara and Griffin Bass are here. We're at Greenmount Station in Hampstead. The sign behind me says so. I'm going to have a crab cake with Karen whenever she gets here as well. You worked here?
I did. I worked here for like good 5 years. I started when I was in high school.
What
worked
era
through
was
college.
this?
This is like 2017 to about-
Pre-OTB?
I started, or I think that was like the OTB just opened when I was kind of winding down my time here.
Every time I come to like one of these little like Opie Mayberry communities like Hampstead, I want to be here. I want to be a part
Yeah,
of
exactly.
It,
It's so
the
exciting.
community
bowling
getting
alley
everything.
next
Yeah.
door.
Funny story. I actually worked at the bowling alley
Oh, there
when
you
I was
go.
14 years old. That
The
was
old the woman, the lady owned it that towed the cars.
Yes.
That was her. Okay.
Yeah, Miss K. I used to work for her, and then I left to go on to pursue better opportunities, and then
Were you duck or
What's
pin?
better than
I was 10. I was actually pretty good at 10
Oh,
pin. Yeah.
no.
I couldn't do
I'm done
duck. Oh, okay.
I'm duck.
I cannot do duck. I'll get it every time. I would throw it up my hardest.
It breaks my heart to hear a kid from Baltimore grow up here, right, and have an opportunity to bowl the proper way
Duck pins the proper way.
and do it like they do it all over the
Well,
world.
it's a Baltimore thing.
You guys, you're Raven Oriole fans, though, right?
Yes, of
well,
course.
then you should
of
roll
course.
duck pins.
That's duck pin is the way to go for
Drink
everyone
duck
from Baltimore?
pins,
All
roll
right,
duck
all right.
pins.
I'll drink duck pin. I was terrible at duck pins, though. I had to use the bumpers.
It seems so hard. It seems a lot harder because smaller ball. It makes it more
but
difficult.
you have 3 rolls, though.
So I'm missing a
Yeah,
finger.
but
So I'm missing a finger.
I see.
So
That's the. So that makes
I
sense. That
tell
makes
this
sense then.
story every 2 or 3 years on the air, and because you don't know me, I'm going to tell you this story because it's one of the legendary stories of my life. My childhood friend is a guy named Danny Wiseman, Hall of Fame bowler from Dundalk. Won many tournaments. Won their Masters series. He's in the Hall of Fame. We grew up together. We traded baseball cards 7th grade. All during our childhood, I bowled duck pins where David Richardson, who owns Scream Out Bowl, did his bowling. Same bowling center, East Point Fair Lanes. I grew up right across the street in Dundalk. And it was a duck pin house. There were no 10 pins. I duck pin bowl every Saturday morning from the time I was 4 years old. They took the summer off, but I was in the Highland Towners until I discovered girls. Maybe I was 15, 16. So probably a dozen years I bowl every Saturday of my life, duck pin bowling. And I'd never touched the 10-pin ball. You have to stick your fingers in it. I don't really have a finger, as you can see. It's kind of interesting when I was on the playground. But so Wiseman we were in school, and we knew he was a good bowler. Like he was like a state champion kind of bowler in high school. He was a big deal. He would get his picture in the paper and win tournaments. He always had his hair slicked back and these funny blouse-looking things. Looked like he was roller skating. So Wiseman, for all of that time, we would give him a hard time. Hey, you don't duck pin bowl. We're having all the fun. You're doing what the adults do, right? He goes out and wins his first tour. I must have been 19 when 20. We're talking about late 80s. He started winning right away. He went camper, on tour, on TV every Saturday, all over the country, bowling against the legends. Mark Roth, Walter Williams, like all of that, right? Beating these guys, Pete Weber, all of that stuff.
Dang. Geez,
so Danny did this all during our lifetime, right? Danny's a retired bowler now. He just left to move to Florida a couple months ago. Danny's a huge Oriole fan, just a great human. But we're lifer friends. And I had never 10-pin bowl in my life. And Danny would come on because he's coming to town and going to win another tournament. He'd come sit on the show. He'd come out to the station, sit in. Got to get you 10-pin bowling, dude. And I'm like, I'm missing a finger. You're the greatest bowler in the world. I'm never, I'm not going to go out with you. I said, you duck pin bowl with me. So every year we did, and I talked about this in the last segment, we did our duck pin bowling charity event in early March at Pinland, Dundalk. And that was also a duck pin house, small little duck pin house in Dundalk. And my buddy owns a Looney's, Steve Latrent.
Okay.
Anybody know Steve?
Yeah.
Steve owned Pinland forever. Turn of the century, we did this event there every year. We had a lot of celebrities, wrestlers, football players, celebrities, stuff like Orioles, stuff like that. So we did the tournament for maybe like 10, 12 years, probably from 95 to maybe 07, 08. We did this every single year. And Wiseman came, because it was winter, he wasn't on tour. He came most of the time. So most of the time we have this 10-pin Hall of Fame bowler who could not bowl duck pins. He would come and roll duck pins, and he looked like, he could be competitive, but it wasn't what he did. It was awkward for him. He said, it's going to screw up my form and like all of
gotcha.
it, all of
carpal tunnel.
Oh,
right,
all of that,
right.
right? But he would come out and bowl duck pins, and he would always say to me, you got to come do 10 pins. I'm like, I'm not letting you kick my ass like that. I'm not going to do that. So finally my son got old enough, and this was I want to say this was 2001 that we did this. So I was 34. He was probably 36. My kid was 18, 19. So my kid was in high school, senior in high school. So 01, 02 was exactly when it was. My kid takes an afternoon off from school. We went out to Brunswick Bowl in Perry Hall.
I know where that is.
All right?
Yeah.
I lived in Perry Hall at the time. So my son went to Perry Hall High School. Grabbed him out of school. We're going to go bowling with Danny finally. All these years, Danny's been trying to get me to 10, and I don't know what I'm doing.
Where's
I walk in, he's celebrity, signing, hey, John, how are you? I got your ball. I brought your balls, So he brings all this stuff out. He's got all of these towels and shit, just like, and he's like trying to pick a ball for me, and I'm like, I'm not rolling with these. I found a house ball that was light as a feather. My finger stuck in it without it falling off.
Was it pink?
Yes.
Okay.
It was totally pink.
Nothing
yes.
wrong with that.
It was a pink. It looked like bubble gum.
Good.
Right.
It looked like bubble gum with a hole.
It's a winner right there.
So I grabbed it. And I'm like, all right, I'm gonna roll with this one. Danny's like, no. You need Iris over here. He has his bags, his name's on all the stuff. He's got a towel and a valet and Bro Cream and his fire shirts because he was that guy. He's a star. So we're out there and I rolled 7 straight strikes, and I beat him.
Oh, wow.
What?
I beat his ass. And
Good
I talk
for you.
about it 22 years later. It was like Rocky 1, no rematch. There's no rematch. And
You're right there.
I got up like 60 pins, and he's like, dude, I need to strike out to beat you.
This is crazy.
And I don't even know how to keep score. The scores keep me. He framed, this is before you had phones. He framed it, signed it, and every time he comes on, I get to beat him up about it. Beating
That's
a Hall of Fame
That's great. Yeah.
I've never
great.
bowled 10 pins since.
I
bowled 3 games.
don't blame you. I don't blame you.
I think I rolled a 2. It was insane. The first game I rolled, I beat him, and then
You retired right
yeah.
there.
No, I rolled 2
And
more
another good
games, and 143. Something I won't brag about, but that's one of the best stories I have in my closet.
There you go.
So I've rolled 10 pins once in my life. And that's it.
That's
and
it.
I'm a duck pin guy.
Okay.
When now someone can create their own story like that, they can hit up our golf tournament on October 5th, and then they can come right up the street to Greenmount Bowl and Greenmount Station, and create their own create their own bowling story for them.
What's your favorite thing at Greenmount? What should I be getting on the menu?
I like the shrimpalacious. That's one of my go. Yeah,
What is that?
It's so it's like shrimp salad with a crab cake inside of it. and then you can put it on whatever you want. Bread. You can put it on a wrap. That's my favorite thing to go to.
Oh, besides the crab cakes.
Besides the crab cakes, of course.
The Smithfield sub.
Oh yeah, there you go. That's classic.
But you
I've had that.
You get on the wrap though, and you add bacon.
Smithfield wrap.
Yeah, Smithfield wrap.
These guys are here rapping with me, representing NCarrollPanthers.com. Has nothing to do with bowling and everything to do with baseball and Hampstead and golf.
I can't believe I forgot to mention I didn't lead off with free beer. Beer is included with the golf
free
tournament.
beer.
Yeah, $130 a person. That includes beer. It includes food.
How is this
breakfast.
not sold out already?
I know.
With
Well,
a value
it
like
won't be
this.
long after this airs.
With a value
after
proposition like this. Well, it's nice to have you guys by.
No, we appreciate
I
this.
like talking to like normal people. What do you guys do in the real world? What do you do?
I'm actually trying to break through. I'm in radio right now. Actually, doing.
Yeah,
like,
you're on radio right now.
Well, yeah. Doing producing stuff. I work for Pressbox.
Oh, nice.
Yes.
So on the radio side.
Yeah, on the radio side, doing
Nice.
their radio show.
Beautiful.
Yeah.
All right. And you?
I do roofing, so.
Really?
Yeah.
Well, Cole Roofing's our sponsor, so we.
No, so that's why I'm not going to say anything.
Well, I mean, they do big corporate jobs, and that's what they. Billy did the show this morning. Billy will be with me next week. We're going to be in Ocean City broadcasting. I just got word. Senator Ben Cardin will be with us next Thursday. Mm-hmm. Governor Wes Moore will be with us next Friday. Chris Van Hollen, other senators, going to be with us on Friday as well. I heard back from Brooke Learman. We're going to have a whole bunch of people on, as well as we're going to talk tourism. We're going to talk about oysters. We're going to talk about the Bay and saving the Bay and important things. I was going to be doing an oyster tour this month. I decided for the 25th anniversary, I'm just going to do it a little later on. I'm going to do an oyster tour. I'm going to make it good. I need to put a little more time into it. Between the Orioles being good, free Kevin Brown, football season, crab cake tours, 25th anniversary, we're mellowing out. So go out to NCarrollPanthers.com. It's October 5th is your event, right?
Exactly.
Yes.
All right,
Big
fellas.
sponsor, Ed Rita Foundation, Body and Rhythm, State Farm, Kiko's Pizza in Reisterstown, all of our sponsors.
Kiko's
Amazon.
Pizza. I
yeah.
like pizza. All right. I like
Yeah.
pizza. Tell them
Yeah.
to send me some.
Yeah. All right, we will.
Yeah. Good pizza.
Can't wait to see everybody out
I
there.
want pepperoni.
Oh, yeah.
All right, my new friends. I need more young friends. Griffin Bass here, Shane Guevara with the greatest wrestling names this side of Dick and Counts. Gave me a chance to tell a Dick and Counts story and a Danny Wiseman story, so I like you. It's the Maryland Crab Cake Tour. It's what we do. We're storytelling. 25th anniversary. We're on the road. It's all courtesy of our friends at Raskin Global. Leonard still is not. This is a great crab mallet.
It
it's
looks
a beer
incredible.
opener.
I want that.
And a crab. Right, you can't have it. It's patented. Leonard had to wait 6 months to get these from made in the U.S. of A.
Those are incredible.
RaskinGlobal.com. Well, he's a thinker. He also has investments. He's an investor. Window Nation, 866-90-NATION. Put some windows in. It's been 1 year for me and our friends at the Maryland Lottery. Celebrating 50 years. We're celebrating 25 years. I'm celebrating almost 20 years of doing this crazy show up here in Hampstead. We're at Greenmount Station next to the OTB, sandwiched next to the Greenmount Bowl where they're having disco bowl night. And I let my hair out when they told me they were having 80s hairband night on September 23rd, so I'll be out here for that. I'm Nestor. We are WNST, AM 1570. Towson, Baltimore, back for more from Carroll County on the Maryland Crab Cake Tour. I'm going to have a real crab cake, broiled.